Gathering with friends and family for Thanksgiving and the holidays, it's festive and it can also be challenging. It can be emotionally draining. It can be all those things. Dr. David Gutterman, clinical psychologist with Cone Health LeBauer Behavioral Medicine, is here to talk about strategies for when the holidays are hard and navigating emotions are stressful this time of year. So thank you for joining us. I know a lot of people are going to be spending their first holiday losing a loved one, and they're going to be feeling the loss of that and the emptiness of that. What is a few things that you can talk about with them right now about how to kind of get through those holidays?
That's a great question, because there are, in fact, as you suggest, a number of people who enter the holidays with some trepidation, because it might be the first holiday without a loved one or someone who's really sick that's close to them. So it's important to recognize that some of the feelings that you're having are certainly normal, and it's important to prepare for the holiday. It's a time when people are gathering to be joyous. There's a lot of social pressure to be joyous at a time where you may not be feeling that way. So you need to anticipate where the trigger points might be, some of the difficulties might be, and have a plan on how to manage them.
Yeah, because I think some of those, you think you're going to be fine, and then something triggers you that you didn't even know to be worried about. So with that in mind, if you're someone who loves someone who is missing someone, how do we help them get through this time?
Well, I think one of the important things is to acknowledge to the person, to your loved one or to your friend who's having a challenging time, acknowledge that you recognize this is a difficult time for them, and also give them permission to either talk about it or not talk about it. Most people will follow your lead if you share with them, if you're comfortable talking about the loss and talking about what it means to you. And it's important that you give your guests or family members permission to have a plan B, that if they get into a situation where their emotions are triggered and they need to exit, take some time to themselves, that they have permission to do that.
I think sometimes we feel like we're helping, but maybe we're not helping when we say certain things like, don't cry, or is everything okay? Can we kind of go over some maybe do's and don'ts?
Well, I think it's important not to try, as you're suggesting, to talk people out of their feelings, to let them talk about it. I think that you don't want to make assumptions. So that's why it's important to ask people, what are they most comfortable with or not comfortable with. I think that sometimes I suggest that people, have a buddy system where you ahead of time, if you know who's attending the celebration, that you let them know that, hey, if I'm having a difficult time, I'm going to give you some sort of a signal or let you know, so that maybe they can help you discreetly take some time to yourself, take some time away for a few minutes, or even leave if necessary.
Okay, and so maybe too, as the person who's maybe hosting a guest that's like that, what are some signs that maybe we could be aware of that maybe the emotions related to the holidays and things are a little bit too much right now?
I'm sorry, say it again. What are some of the emotions you're asking?
Yeah, if I'm the person who's hosting and my guest, I can kind of tell maybe that something is going on. Are there things that I should be like aware of? Any kinds of...
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's important to recognize, if you know your guests pretty well, you recognize someone is having some difficulty. They often their behavior is just not within the norm of what they typically are. If there's someone who's gregarious and outgoing and they're very quiet, they're not non-participatory or something like that, you want to very discreetly, check in with them to see how they're doing, and to make sure that they're okay, and again follow their lead as to what might be, not make assumptions, what might be helpful for them to make their way through what's a difficult time, especially when other people are, seemingly very, engaged and involved, and if someone's kind of removed themselves.
So these are all when we've got people and we're together, that we're actually like seeing eye to eye and that kind of thing. What about if we know that there's a friend or a loved one who is far away, who may also be dealing with that kind of thing? Are there better ways than others to reach out to say, hey, I'm thinking about you? Sometimes we're afraid to say that because we don't want to tip somebody off to being sad.
Yeah, I think the mistake that most people make is that they don't know what to say, so they don't say anything. and just wait for someone to, say, well, they'll let me know. And I think that it's more important to really to reach out again, to ask, to literally, ask people, what their thoughts are, their feelings are. We're not going to make people feel worse by talking about what the situation is. It's always better to be upfront, to check in with them, let them know that that you recognize this is a challenging time for them, and if there's anything you can do to help them along, and to ask about it. I think the biggest error again is just not saying anything, and figuring that people will let you know if they need some help.
Right, yeah. Always let them know that you're thinking of them no matter what, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, never hurts for that. All right, we're going to be back in just a few moments. We continue this conversation.